Pray thee well, Indie Warriors. Welcome to I Dream of Indie. My name is Ole Gamer Joe. I'm bringing you another review today as we look at Dragon Audit on the Nintendo Switch. This is a romantic 3D game that's heavily inspired by the point-and-click genre, though you do have complete control over two different characters, Aira, a dragon girl who dreams of being rescued from her castle instead of the princess, and good old George, an accountant who one day receives the job promotion nobody ever wanted, becoming a knight. This basically means that he'll be storming the castle of Aira in hopes of successfully performing an audit. Aira and George's definitions of an audit, however, are very different. If you're anything like Ole Gamer Joe, your first reaction to Dragon Audit's going to be, wow, this game looks like total butt. And you wouldn't be wrong. The laughable textures and character models can't be ignored, and I haven't seen environments or animations this lifeless in a game since around 2001. That said, and I'm not making excuses here, but this game seems completely self-aware of its own shortcomings, and that really shines through in the writing. This interesting script is by far the strongest aspect of Dragon Audit. I absolutely love the banter between Aira and George. Hell, Aira in general is one dragon girl that's hard not to fall in love with. She's full of hilarious innuendos and seems completely out of touch with reality. I honestly found her a bit relatable. I really enjoyed how the writer flipped the script on the entire princess needing to be rescued idea, and that was probably my favorite aspect of the game, the strong writing throughout. Well, I shouldn't say strong, but entertaining. Gameplay-wise, like I mentioned, Dragon Audit is heavily inspired by point-and-click adventure games, and that does show through a little bit. You'll be picking up random items which light up an ugly block of red when you're near them, and you'll be combining certain items in order to progress, but most of the puzzles are really obvious. There's no real challenge here whatsoever, so don't expect any of the frustrations that genre tends to be known for. In fact, the first 30 minutes or so of Dragon Audit, maybe even a little longer, can honestly feel like one big fetch quest, which is a little bit of a turnoff because the game doesn't really get interesting until you enter the castle. You're really just going from one person to the next, collecting an item, and then going to the next area. That's a little bit dull, but fear not, things do get a bit more interesting. Dragon Audit will also throw the occasional logic puzzle your way, or even a hands-on puzzle. None of them are very difficult either. Some of these will involve having to line up symbols with numbers in order to crack a code, or perhaps guide a wire through a maze, but nothing too difficult. Being such a short game, there's not a lot of different areas to explore in Dragon Audit, but when you do have control of either George or Aira, or you can actually switch between them at certain points throughout the story, you can explore a bit and talk to some of the non-playable characters. They all have unique personalities. They don't necessarily say a lot, but you can go through a few different dialogue options and get a few funny answers here or there. Here's the truth of the matter, Dragon Audit's gameplay is not very good. The puzzles aren't particularly well thought out, the controls are janky at best, the camera's really quite awful throughout, you can see through your character entirely if you position it correctly. It's a bit of a technical mess, and yet I'm still intrigued enough between these characters and this world to continue playing it, and I guess knowing it's such a short time investment helps players to go on ahead with it. I can't tell you Dragon Audit's a fun game to play though, that would be a complete lie. It's a fun game to watch most of the time, but graphically it is fun to laugh at how bad it looks. I mean, just look at these textures, just look at the character models, look at the animations. This had to be done with intent. I just don't see a situation where the developer was trying to be too serious here, and I'm strangely kind of okay with it. I think it leans into the odd script and the whole idea behind this game of a dragon girl falling in love with a real human. It's just all so stupid that you can't help but kind of like it. Do you like it $9 like it? Well, that's up to you to decide, but I can't lie, I was entertained even with the sound effects of this game, which are basically non-existent. You get a few footsteps here or there, and there's a few musical tracks that aren't half bad, but they just feel weird. And that's really all I can say about this game. Dragon Audit is weird, so if you're looking for a weird experience that will last you about 2 hours and really feels like watching a sitcom more than anything else, or a short or something like that, maybe give Dragon Audit a look. I can promise you'll get some laughs, but you won't get a meaningful gameplay experience. Thanks so much for watching our review of Dragon Audit. We'd now like to take a moment to thank our great indie warriors, Mitchell, Hall, Kevalo, Bunny, Bill Tikaz, Christian Cruz, Strick9, Rosie Syntax, Chris Jackson, Nathan Moore, Peach, Adriana Amato, CJR, Jesse, and Falco Lombardi. Thank you for all you do for independent content and the great indie developers. Everybody else out there, head down to the description box below where you can subscribe and do all those good things to help us bring a voice to the voiceless ones in gaming.